You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome into episode 33 of the Palmetto Dugout Show. I'm Drew Stewart here with Austin Smith and Coach Sammy Esposito. What's going on, guys?
Gentlemen, what's happening? We doing all right today?
Doing good. Coach Austin Smith, what's going on?
I'm back.
It's been about 2-3 weeks since we've had you. Our viewers might go down for this episode due to the fact that he's here. I mean, analytics doesn't lie here. But hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and give it a like.
Viewers may go down, but subscriptions are up.
You know, Coach, that's the ticket. Ticket is right there, right? Subscriptions, read the fire content. Let's go.
Yeah, no doubt. We've got a bunch of different stuff to get to today, but we'll talk about some of the games we saw last week. Between the three of us here, we attended 6 games, and we had Sean Smith out at 1 game. So that would have brought us to 7, Coach. 7 games in 1 week. A lot of content.
Coach, it was a big week. We had the GOAT back in town.
That's right.
Sean back in town calls me, hey, I need a game. I'm in town. Boom, gone. Now, he wasn't in town just for a game. He wanted to experience St. Patrick's Day one more time in Columbia before he got out of here. But he was at least was ready to see a game.
Hey, he's always ready. He gets that itch, Coach. Wants to go watch a high school game, and he produces unrivaled tweets. So on the Twitter page, so I mean, it's great content there from Mr. Smith. So I'll kind of start us off here. On Tuesday, I went to see BHP in Powdersville. We're going to kind of highlight some players, not all the players that we saw. Make sure if you want to see all the players we saw, to make sure you have a subscription to Prep Baseball Reports. You can see those scout blogs that we attended. So I'm going to start out with Lane McGaha, Coach. Let's just say he hit 2 bombs. They still haven't landed. It started at home plate in Powdersville, and it might have went back to Belton Honeypath. So we don't know. But overall, he had a great day. Second inning, he had a bomb to take the lead 2-0. Then the top of the 7th, he had another 3-run bomb to cap the inning off for BHP to get that win, which was a huge win, which we'll get to later in our special shout-out section. But McGaha, very physical, strong, and we talked about it. There is a lot of pop there in the bat, as it was present during the game. So who's going to be a fun one to watch this year, is he'll probably put up some big power numbers for the Bears. And then Friday, I went to a game, and it was Daniel at West Oak. I felt like I was watching Daniel football versus West Oak football. Score ended up 19-8, but it doesn't take away from what Spencer Kahn, 2025 catcher, did for Daniel. Collected 5 RBIs on the night, all of them in big situations with runners on base. He's another strong physical kid who has really good feel for the barrel. Was able to elevate the hands on balls elevated in the zone. So look to him to have another big year this year for the Lions.
Yeah, I'll swing it over I'll start this one off. I went on Monday. I was down in Sumter at Sumter High School to watch them take on Carolina Forest. Young guy starting on the mound for Sumter and a 24 on the mound for Carolina Forest. But the guy I'm going to talk about for Carolina Forest, Bradley Wallers. He's 2023. We've had a chance. He's come to a few of our events over the past, and we've got a chance to watch. He's committed to Florence Darlington Tech, but Bradley, for me, he's, I always talk about, he's just ball player is kind of what he is. He can kind of do it all. Started the day off at second base, played a little shortstop, came in and pitched, can play the outfield if he has to, can really run. He starts the game off, leads off, hits a bolt right back up the middle for a base hit. Couple at bats later, winds up catching a pitch while they're having a big inning and drills one off the wall. Had 5 stolen bases on the day, just kind of a menace, not only in the batter's box, but on the bases, and always can cause some havoc and cause trouble for the opposing team. So he's a guy for me that really can do it all. He really plays with a big confidence about him, carries himself the right way, and wherever you put him on the field, he's going to have success and kind of do some things. When he got on the mound, he showed a little bit of arm strength. It wasn't command that day wasn't exactly what he wanted, but we've seen him in the past where he can really fill it up and dump in a breaking ball. But Bradley Wohlers is, I think I said in the scout blog, ball player, because that's what he is. No matter where you put him, he gets it done and does it well. So he's leading that Carolina Forest team and try to get them deep back into the playoffs again this year, and then off to Florence Darlington Tech. Next guy I'll talk about, I was in Lexington at River Bluff High School to watch a big time region matchup between Lexington Wildcats and River Bluff Gators. Coming into the second game of the series, River Bluff had a big win on Monday against those guys and kind of picked up right where they went off and had another big win before, Lexington getting the third game of that one of the series. But Walker Mitchell, I could probably talk about a lot of guys on those teams, but Walker Mitchell for me was a guy that really stood out. He Coastal Carolina commit. He's a stud. He's a shortstop, has arm strength to play over there, can run. 3 at-bats, 3 barrels, got a walk, 3 RBIs. First at-bat, line drive, about decapitated the second baseman. Hits it hard. Next at-bat, catches a hanging breaking ball, launches out of the park for a 2-run home run. Third at-bat comes out, gets down in the hole, 2 strikes, fouling balls off late, and then finally smokes a line drive base hit for an RBI single the other way. To me, Walker's just a guy that's about as good as you come. I've kind of told some people I know, some pro guys have come in to see him, but I think he's a guy that's the only guys that are really much better than him are guys going to be taken in the first or second round of the draft. So I think highly of him. I think he's really good and really talented and kind of can do it all. And, he gets through this draft, I think Coastal's going to have a stud coming in there for day one for him.
Yeah, no doubt.
I guess I'm up now.
Go ahead, Austin.
I'm up. Sorry. All right, I'm gonna start with Tuesday night. Tuesday, I went to Fountain Inn, got to see Wren take on Fountain Inn. What was their first region game that they got to play at their place, and I don't know. Am I allowed to say it? Probably falls into upset of the week. Nobody saw that coming. But that Fountain Inn squad, they got some good wins this year. But Tuesday night was definitely one of them. They beat Wren 2-0. After y'all made fun of how long I had to sit at some of these games, I walked in my front door at about 7:55 on Tuesday night. A little hour 10-minute game over there. But my player of the game from that night is going to be Bo Barbary. He's a left-handed pitcher for Fountain Inn. He's 2025. He went the full deal, complete game, 7 innings. Gave up 2 hits, shutout. Just one of those nights where he filled it up, didn't give him anything free, and they just kept it rolling over, popping up, fly out center field. Next thing you know, you look up and it's the 7th inning, and they're down 2, and not sure how we got there, but we got there. And good looking young arm for the Fury. Also, mascot of the week too for me. Big Fury guy. But like I said, he's upper 70s. I think he hit an 80. And he's a sophomore, so I think there's definitely more there. Good looking kid. 63, 65 with the breaking ball. Got a couple more Fountain Inn kids on my list here, but you have to read about those in the scout blog. So that was on Tuesday. Thursday, I made the journey over to Fluor Field to watch Man and Greenville take on each other. And I got to see about, 12 pitchers between the two teams. Greenville threw a pitcher an inning. Greenville came out on top there. I got 2 from Greenville I'm going to talk about. One's Russ Shepard. He started the game. Shepard, a little 2-way guy. He made it into my scout block too on both sides. He started the game through the first inning. Didn't give up anything. He was in the low to mid 80s. He also had a hit at the plate. Had a big day on both sides. And then last I got Taylor Rabe. He pitched the 7th inning, came in and closed. Kid going to Ole Miss. And it was first time, actually, as long as I've been up here in the Greenville area, first time I've seen Rabe on the mound. He was he was as good as anybody I've seen all year. He sat 92 for almost the entire inning. Got off to a little bit of a shaky start. Hit the first kid right in the shoulder blade. He's probably still feeling that, but hit the first kid in the shoulder blade, and then next thing you know, he dialed it in, and they probably weren't going to touch it after that. He was 92, hit 93, I think, 4 times. 93 4 times. Mixed in a breaking ball in the upper 70s, low 80s. Definitely the real deal over there for Greenville High. So that's my 2. That's my 3. Sorry, I went 3.
No, three's perfect. I'm gonna kind of add a little thing on Rabe. You know, Rabe, when I first got back, when I first got into this job, Rabe, one of the first deals we had was the futures game, and Rabe was part of that team that year in the was that summer of 21, and he was, you know, 84, 87. Obviously, the projection, the look, you know, and then he came back that next winter, came to our pro case. I remember, you know, it was 88, 89. It was kind of going the right way, and you know, he's still, you know, 6'4", 170-ish pounds or whatever he is. And then, you know, Drew, you got a chance to watch him last spring, and he was up to 91. You know, and then we'd heard a bunch of reports this summer about how the breaking balls have been getting better. You know, and and then obviously makes that commitment to Ole Miss, and I think they know a thing or two about recruiting some players and winning. So, you know, they obviously hopped on a guy and took a chance, but Taylor, for me, for all of us, I think I can speak for all you guys, is kind of the guy that's trending in the right direction. We've got a chance over the last couple of years to kind of see him making those moves, but it's also one of those you can kind of dream on, right? It's the frame, it's the size, he's still thin. I know he's working out, but you know, Austin, I think me and you were talking about this other night. He's going to get up to Ole Miss and pack on 20 pounds, and it's not going to be nothing for us to cut a game on and seeing him throwing about 95, 96 miles an hour consistently. So, you know, those are the fun ones for us to be able to see these guys make those progressions, make those jumps over the years, and see how those guys pan off. But he's obviously going in the right direction.
Yeah, no doubt. He's going to be a fun one to watch. Hopefully we get to see him here again soon, especially with Red Raiders making some jumps in the rankings, and hopefully going to make a deep run in here to playoffs. So, hey, make sure you check those scout blogs out to make sure we didn't miss any people, and to read all about what our vacation director here has to say, as well as Dewey Media and Mr. Esposito, all having different titles. But hey, we're going to roll on here to our top games of the week. So we're going to start out here, Coach. We're going to have some great graphics roll across as we talk. First one comes to mind, and that is West Ashley and Ashley Ridge. At Ashley Ridge on the 27th of March. So you know who's going to be throwing for Ashley Ridge, obviously. Frontline starter and Chase Stryker. Coach, I feel like this is going to be a good game.
It should be a big matchup all week. I mean, you got two of the better teams in the state, and obviously, you know, Stryker, one of the better 23s, you know, in our state, but also in the country. So it'll get to see two of the better teams lock up and go at it, you know, and that's what's fun, I think, with these, you know, these multiple games in 1 week. You can really see who probably the better team is when it shakes out at the end of the day, versus having, you know, let's be honest, if Chase Stryker matches up against just one team once, I think we can usually bet on who's going to probably, you know, win that one. Not to say he can't be beat, but I think if, like Coach Smith said earlier, if we were to bet, you know, which those lines, look for the lines coming out later on this week, but if we were to bet, right, you would usually slide your chips over that way in front of with Chase. But for sure, should definitely be a big one down there in the Low Country.
Yeah, Stryker kind of falls on that Rabe spectrum as far as when he's on the mound, your team has a let's say a 90% chance of winning the ball game, if not higher. Which takes us to game 2 here, another big game on the 28th of March, and it is the Dreher at Brooklyn Casey, a game that you wouldn't necessarily at the end of the season think it'd be a big game, but here we are in the midseason, and Dreher's on fire, Coach.
Dreher is on fire, right? We, you know, I can probably throw a baseball from my house and get close to their school right now. Maybe about 10, 15 years ago, I might have gotten a little bit closer. But, you know, they're a team here in the area that has started off hot, and they've continued on. They've played a good schedule, and I think they're, 9 or 10-1 and just keep winning. They played in a good preseason tournament, beat some teams, and have have continued the path. They got, couple players in their lineup that have been to some events in the past with Caleb Gibson and Jack Painter swinging the bat rail, along with Byron Earl, along with some other guys, Matthew Moore. Probably going to leave a few guys off, but they've some guys that come to events that have performed well and are off to a hot start. And then, Brooklyn Casey, we had them ranked up there high, and they played a tough schedule early on, but they got plenty of dudes. Hayden Thomas coming back from Tommy John a year removed, was committed for a while to Arkansas, and then had the, surgery, and, things went a different way for him, but he's still out there trying to get out there. Now the velocity's making the jumps along with BJ Etheridge, and, they got Parker Murgo. They got a bunch of bats in that lineup. So that'll be those will be two teams here in the Midlands that obviously in the 3A world are going to be looking to make some noise, not only right now, but down the stretch.
Yeah, no doubt. That's going to be a fun one for all of those involved. And then our third game, hopping back down to the Low Country here, going to be, as we've seen on Twitter, we've been told that this is the game you cannot miss. Nothing else matters this week but this game. And that is South Florence and North Myrtle Beach. You obviously think Aiden Palmer, one of the best arms in the state for South Florence, is going to throw against Luke Rope, another one of the best arms in the state. And then we've got various players we've seen it showcases with CJ Oxendine, PBR future game alum for North Myrtle. So that's on the 28th of March. Coach, another great game in the North State.
Big time matchup, right? I mean, it's two big schools, two big time talents kind of going about it. It'll be a fun one. I think Palmer broke the record for strikeouts down there, so I don't see that train kind of changing, even though he's going to be still facing a better lineup this time. But those guys, you're going to have two big time arms matching up against each other, two big time teams kind of going against it. So it's heck, South Florence is just rolling the train in all their sports right now. So they're football had a big season, kind of just keep it rolling, did well in basketball, rolling in the baseball season. So it'll be fun with those guys kind of matching up, and it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out when the week ends.
Here's a bigger question for you, and Austin can answer this one too. Who ends up with more strikeouts this year, left-handed pitcher, Jacob McGovern or Aiden Palmer?
Can I throw a disclaimer on why I think McGovern will?
I knew it was coming. That's why I asked it.
Be careful.
Yeah, be careful over here now. I'm in that part of the city.
We can't let Drew answer this because Drew is his personal scout. So Drew is at every one of his starts. So therefore, we can't. If I had to set a line or bet money, I would say McGovern wins that, because especially if Drew's in attendance, because every time Drew's there, he strikes out at least 17. And that's like every game. So I would go McGovern on that one.
I'll say it, Coach. It's McGovern because of the schedule. Austin?
I'm going Palmer just because y'all know I'm that guy that you always got to go with the opposite. But I'm also going to say I'm going Palmer because you said earlier he set the school strikeout record, but I think he's also going to try to grow it. That way nobody can ever catch it. The last thing he wants to do is he don't want to look up when he's 35 and some kids done broke his record and he's sitting here thinking, man, I should have struck out 8 more guys against North Myrtle Beach that Tuesday night.
If I want to see if somebody breaks that record, that's who I want to see who it is, because it'd have to be like Nolan Ryan come through there or something. I mean, like it's incredible the amount of numbers he's put up. I mean, to strike out that many kids, like you're doing something.
Yeah.
And we got a chance to see him at the pro case this past year. We saw him a year ago at a showcase. I mean, it's big time stuff. He's going to go to Flodar, a hell of a get by those guys. He's going to go to Flodar and keep adding on strength and get those innings. And, the projection might take him up to where he just bypasses, and ends up in pro ball. So it's, the projectability with him, I think the sky's the limit for him.
Hey, it's going to be a good one. It's the one no one in this state can miss this week. It's the only one that matters. Tuesday night.
Only one.
South Florence and North Myrtle. Don't even go to another game.
Palmer also has the added motivation that I'm the only person in his corner right now. So he's got that going for him.
We didn't make sure he hears this.
Yeah, make sure
Well,
he
I don't
hears
know
it.
because Austin's been in a lot of people's corners, and he's been put on videos of picking people, and it
That's
just
right.
hadn't. Yeah,
Mr.
I don't
Palmer,
know.
I want to apologize. So now, just based off of the way this show generally goes, if I were a betting man, I would put a large lump sum of money on North Myrtle Beach on Tuesday because everybody that I back, their season goes down the drain. So, Mr. Palmer, I'm sorry. I think you're a very good pitcher, but I have officially put the jinx on you.
Oh gosh, Hey,
He'll be out of the game in the
This-
first
this-
inning.
yeah. Let's hope not, for the sake of that being the best game in that's the game of the century, as I
I mean,
like to call it.
On paper, we are talking about one of the better ones around. So it'll be
It'd be a good one to cover. Might be a quick one.
too bad the drive's very far for all of us, but
It's okay.
Be a fun one, but hey, that mileage start racking up. I can't rack that up. So we'll hop over here to our fourth game. Big game, as I was able to attend one of these games last year. And it's Clinton and Chapman. They play on March 29th and 30th, and I believe someone in this room will be a part of one of those games.
Look for the blue hoodie.
But you look at Chapman having another great year, as well as Clinton having another great year. They were region foes last year, but this is a non-region game. And Clinton, you got Wilson Wages back, a really good bat, and Chapman's got the usual with Johan Rodriguez behind the plate. So that's going to be another big game this year for both of those teams, as they're both inside the Power 25. So hey, Austin's going to cover us on that one. So he'll be there
scout
with.
blogs.
Look for the blue hoodie.
Yeah, make sure you're subscribed so you can see the director's scout blog.
Make sure you're following along on the Twitter page as well.
Twitter page, Facebook page, the Instagram page, TikTok page.
Thursday night, make sure you stay up late. Might be a late one. Looks like we got a JV game beforehand, so that means they're usually going to be a little behind. Just know it's coming in hot. If you fall asleep, check it Friday when you get up. Twitter page, place to be.
Hey, so we've got our new Power 25 rankings out now. So we're gonna kind of talk about some changes inside the Power 25. We've seen a lot of teams drop out, Coach, and we had talked about it a little bit. At this point, it's all about what, Coach?
Wins and losses.
We kind of gave some grace at the beginning of the year with that schedule, but at some point, those wins have to start piling up, and that's why you'll see some changes here. No changes. Well, we do. River Bluff moves up to number 3 after a big week against Lexington, taking 2 out of 3 with their record going up to 9-2. And then we see Catawba Ridge making a big jump, Coach, from
making
8
moves.
From 8 to 5. They've been on a roll here lately. Just swept York previously, and they're at 7-3 on the year. And then another big riser who will be in our game of the week is West Ashley from 10 to 6 at 8-4. So hey, the team they lost to twice is making an appearance in the Power 25 as well. So hey, look out, big game there. As they'll take on another big riser in Ashley Ridge, moving from 15 to 8. Surprising team nonetheless. They got a really good arm with Chase Stryker, but they come in with McLaughlin. So, Coach, I think they've hit the ball better than we thought. That's why you see a big rise here for the Foxes. So West Ashley Ridge, number 6 versus number 8. Watch out.
Let's talk about the biggest jump. Let's talk about
hold
the
on.
biggest
That's
jump.
what we're getting to.
Come on now.
Coming in at number 9. They've not been previously ranked in our first rankings or our second rankings, but here they are, Coach. At 10-1 or 9-1 is the Greenville Red Raiders. Austin, I'm gonna let you talk about this.
Red Raiders.
You've got this team. Why have they made the jump, Austin?
Coach, I've watched the Raiders 3 times now, and they are what everybody's looking for when you go to place your bets for the rest of the season. They get better every time they get on the field. The first time I saw them in a doubleheader at the Steve Sanders tournament up there at Duncan Park. In the first game I watched them, I was like, they're okay. Second game I watched them, I said, okay, they got a little something to work with. Thursday night at Fluor Field, they got it. They got it. They got the arms. I told you they threw seven different arms on Thursday against J.O. Man and gave up 2 runs. We've all seen how that experiment works out. We all have that bright idea. I'm gonna throw a new guy every inning. Somebody comes out there, can't get out of the inning, and next thing you know, you give up a 9 spot. Didn't happen. They got 9 guys. They got 7 guys. We're only playing 7 innings down here. I like the team. They got the freshman Dubront, who I texted you guys. Dude hit 2 jacks and had like 12 RBIs against Westside the week before and come out Thursday night and he's hitting in the 9-hole. So that tells you they got a deeper lineup than you think. They got Rabe, who we decided, he may not get the statistic strikeout. He didn't get in the battle of the lefties with those other guys, but Rabe's going to run up some strikeouts for the rest of the way. One of the better arms in the state. They got another kid throws hard, Walker Coleman. They got several arms. And then, like I said, watch out for the Raiders. It's a big jump, go from unranked to the top 10. But
hey, no
be careful. They don't do it in the playoff selection committee, but maybe they got the wrong guys in the room.
The only thing I'm gonna go ahead and say this one. The only thing I feel bad for with Red Raiders is every time we go all in on somebody, they go all out. It's kind of a jinx, right? So I'm kind of they've earned it, right? They've won a lot of games. They beat good teams. They got star power. They kind of got it all. The only thing going against them is we're on their side.
Especially me. I said it earlier.
Yeah.
You don't want me in your corner.
We're going to look up and redo this, and they're going to be 9-7. Just due to the fact that we're on their side. But yeah, Coach Kalinske, we're all on your corner, but you can blame us. Don't blame your kids. Good luck to you.
And we'll move on to 10 here. Coming in at 10, previously ranked at 17, is Chapman. Big game with Clinton this week as they are 10-3. Kind of started off Steve Sanders in a rough patch. I think they went, I want to say like 2-2, but since then they've won a lot of games. Only lost to Bowling Springs, Spartanburg, and Hillcrest. So those aren't bad losses at all. So jumping to 11, another big riser coming off of the bubble last week. And that is South Florence at 10-1. They just keep figuring out how to win, and they got a big one this week with North Myrtle, who you'll see down here below. So when you got a left-handed pitcher like Aiden Palmer, you just win games. Coach, it gets you up in the rankings. Remember,
had a great coach used to tell me if you're a left-handed pitcher, you got a pulse, you always got a chance to win. So he's got a pulse and he's damn good. So he always got a chance to win.
No doubt. And then coming in at number 12 is Clover at 8-4 on the year. And at number 13, North Myrtle shoots up 6 spots at 8-2. Like we just said, play South Florence. So they got those 2 teams have a chance to shoot up in the rankings. And at number 14, up 2 spots, is the Clinton Red Devils at 7-2, who Austin will get graced with seeing here shortly. And then we got another riser. They were not even on the bubble, Coach. And that is coming in at number 15 is Dreer at 10-1. They've made a shot up the rankings. Like you said, they got a big one this week as well, who they'll play Brooklyn Casey on down the rankings. Coming in at number 16 is the Blythewood Bengals at 7-4. Picked up 2 big wins against NAFO after losing that first game in the series. Number 17 is the James Island Trojans at 7-4. They've got some big wins as well. Number 18 was a team that was on the bubble. It is Blue Ridge Tigers, Coach. When you got Camerata, look at here, your left-handed pitcher with a pulse. Camerata on the mound, left-handed pitcher with a pulse. So we know he's a stud for them, and they've shot up the rankings due to that, as well as them. Cade Norton's been tweeting at us with the hashtag PBR SC Bomb Squad. So hey, they got some big time talent up there in Blue Ridge. Coming in at 19, Brooklyn Casey at 7-4. Here comes number 20 up 5 spots. Is the Volunteers of Andrew Jackson. at 11-1. Wasn't able to find their record, but of course, Coach
Lucas coming in hot.
Coach Lucas coming in hot. This is why we needed your record, Coach, right here. Coming in at number 21. They were not ranked, not on the bubble. I heard they had a coach last year that's in this room. I can't remember.
They had a coaching change.
Had a coaching change. Is this why they're in the Power 25 now? Number 21 is Woodmont at 10-1. They've got some big wins this year as well. Coach is hopefully going to get to see them this week as well. Hey, big game against Man this week as well. Didn't quite make the top 8 games, but it was right on the bubble.
I can't wear the blue hoodie up there. It's gonna look like I'm pulling for Man. I'm gonna have to change outfits.
You got enough hoodies for everybody, so you can wear that gray one with the logo on the front. That'll look good.
Neutral.
Very neutral. Coming in at number 22 is Lugal Felgen at 7-2. 23 is another team that was not previously ranked, and that is Greenwood at 8-2, who has won 8 straight, Coach. 8 straight wins for Greenwood, and they'll take on Westside this week. Hey, I don't know. Is it good? It's winning. It gets you in the rankings. They'll take on Westside this week, in which one of us in this room will be present. Can't wait. As that was Westside was Austin's sleeper pick. So let's just go on to the next rank here.
Let's move right on from there.
Coming in at number 24 is a team that was previously not ranked, and that is Hanahan at 7-3. They had 2 big wins over number 6 West Ashley. Then coming in at number 25, Coach, not ranked, not on the bubble, and it'll lead us into a special shout out here in a second. That is number 25, Belton Honeypath at 8-2-1. Had a big week sweeping the Powdersville Patriots last week. So hey, we got some teams on the bubble as well, hoping to make some moves up there into that top Power 25, which will be re-released in 2 weeks.
The original Power 25.
The original Power 25.
Hey, you know what we got? I feel like every time we do these, we talk about it, but you know, we as a staff always discuss, but right, especially now, and you alluded to earlier, right? The big deal with these rankings is now it starts becoming a record. You know, there's maybe going to be some teams that might do some damage as the season continues, but you know, if you're around the 500 mark at this point in time, like we're gonna kind of hold that against you a little bit when it comes down to the rankings. If you win and you have wins, you're gonna go in there. I mean, if early in the season we kind of gave a little bit of leeway on some schedules, or it's just early and you kind of go with it, but when you start to get 11, 12, 13 games in the season, you're starting to become who you are. You're in the region play, you know some of those things. So we're not going to knock somebody maybe if they, right, we didn't really drop Lexington too much because they lost 2 out of 3 against River Bluff, right? You know, two good teams, played a really good team. You might jump somebody up a little bit more. You might not take a big fall, but right at this point in time, you start to reward some people that have won, you know. But again, there's going to be some people fall out of here because we've moved them up, you know, and we were on their side, and now they're going to go. But it's the constantly ever moving up and down as these teams that catch fire, get hot, and there's some teams that records aren't great, but have been trending in the right direction, that are getting into that bubble conversation of going in there. You know, maybe they've started off 2-6 or whatever, and won 5 or 6 in a row or something like that, kind of getting in there. So we'll start moving this around a little bit more, but it is neat to see some of these teams, and some of these teams kind of come out of nowhere, or teams that are high on all of a sudden that have flown off the charts in the wrong direction. So, you know, as we're rolling down, these teams win. We're gonna put a lot more emphasis on the wins than we are to maybe so-called star power or anything like that.
Yeah, no doubt. And with the change of our Power 25 comes the change of the regional rankings, Coach, correct?
That is correct. They will be out on, I believe it is Tuesday. Regional rankings will be released, so there'll be some changes on that with the Mid-Atlantic region. And you know, we actually had a Mid-Atlantic battle this past week with Oceanside.
Number 1 versus number 3.
Yeah, number 1 versus number 3, and Ocean, I think it was Highland out of Virginia, Oceanside wound up on the wrong side of that, but Oceanside also just came off playing a tough game against Somerville earlier in the week, and threw a lot of their through their dudes, and then they had a region matchup and they played them. But a little bit of a drop for Oceanside coming in this week, and it's not as much of a knock on them. They got a couple losses where the teams ahead of them are, 1, 2, 3 of those teams, 4 of those teams ahead of them are undefeated. So they're going to fall a little bit, and especially with Oceanside kind of being down a pitcher right now, it's really not indicative of what they are, but that's how we kind of rank them. And then, making a move into the regional rankings now goes River Bluff. River Bluff going unranked. I believe they're going to go into there's still time for these to adjust, so don't quote me on this. They're going to go from unranked to 19th. So big move by River Bluff going in there, but little old South Carolina still holding in there with 4 teams in there. So it's with some others that could be on the bubble to get in. We got 2 teams on the bubble that we were considering to get in there, but they got a little bit of work to do. And still with us, with this regional, obviously us in North Carolina have started off playing about the same time, but you kind of get Maryland and Delaware and Virginia are starting to crank up a lot more games. So there'll be more movement as those teams are playing games.
Yeah, no doubt. So make sure you pay attention to those regional rankings coming out here soon. And we'll hop over to special shout out. Only one.
Big one.
A special, big one. Huge.
Huge.
Special shout out here to Coach Steve Williams for Belton Honeypath on his 600th high school win. And PBR South Carolina was in attendance for that 600th win. I told Coach, I asked him, I said, do you feel any younger after 600? He said, no, I can't even get around anymore. So a special, I told Sam, I was like, those glasses have made him wiser. Just look at him. Because when I was with him for 2 years, he didn't wear those glasses. So, hey, special shout out to him. One of the best, if not the best high school coach in the state of South Carolina. I think he's won 5 state championships over there at BHP. I think he told me he's been there 30 something odd years, which is incredible to be at one place for that long.
He's been at one school for that long, longer than you 2 guys have been alive. Think about that.
He might feel really old after you saying that. So let's see. But
the biggest, probably the biggest thing is he was over to overcome this 2 years you spent with him. Right? I
Those were the best 2 years of his life.
The fact that he was able to overcome the Drew Stewart tenure over there with him is more, might be more. We should have maybe given a shout out for that one as well for Coach Williams.
That's worth another 100 wins, right?
That's a bigger deal than 600.
Hey, but hopefully Coach Williams will get him a lot more this year as they're off to a hot start and ranked 25th in the Power 25. So we'll hop over to kind of staying in that same area with the Bears here. Our PBR SC Bomb Squad of the Week. And that is, we can recall this Bomb Squads of the Week or Bombs of the Week. And that is Lane McGaha, 2024 first baseman for Belton Honeypath, who had 2 moonshots in the same game against the Powdersville Patriots on the way to a win there for BHP. So he'll get the PBR SC Bomb Squad of the Week. Make sure you're still using the hashtag when you hit a bomb on Twitter so that you can be featured right here on the Palmetto Dugout Show.
And get that quote tweet.
And the quote tweet. That's the most important part. So
all 12,000
for him
followers. Real quick?
Yeah. What? Go ahead.
I need to put a plug in for him. Lane came to our preseason thing at Winthrop, and when he was shagging balls on the throw across, me and Coach Lever, we butchered his name like 3 different times. And I guess he just decided to take matters in his own hands. He said, I'm going to make sure everybody knows my name by the end of this season. So I thought I'd throw that plug
I think
there.
you and Lever might have been the only 2 that butchered it, but it's okay. You and Lever, that's a special combination.
We do what we can for the kids.
So, hey, it takes us to play of the week. We were not in attendance, but it was just a great play. And it was produced by the best high school social media team probably in the country, Coach.
Gotta be Somerville.
There we go. He already knows. And that's 2023 Maddox Webb committed to the Citadel or Somerville. Fantastic quality of a video. And it was technically a web gem, right? From Maddox Web. So hey, shout out Somerville for tweeting this and tagging us in it, as we'll use it here on the Palmetto Dugout Show for our play of the week, going to Maddox Web.
Incredible play in a big game.
It was a big game. It was a big situation, Coach. I think if you let that ball fall, Oceanside scores a lot of runs right there.
No doubt.
Yeah, so that'll get our play of the week award. And then we're going to hop over to our last part of the Palmetto Dugout Show on episode 33. That's a special segment. We're going to
big time. This might be my favorite segment coming up, and two of the three know about this. This has got to be the best thing that we've done probably in a long time.
As usual, I'm the one that's not in the loop.
I'm really excited.
But he's about to be in the loop.
I mean, he's gonna be all in the loop. So I'm so excited about this, and I think this is gonna be more helpful to the parents, to the family members than anything when it's all said and done.
Yes, no doubt. Even to other scouts in attendance.
100%.
So hey, we've had 5-6 weeks of high school baseball go on. And many of us have been to many different games. However, me and Sammy have not partaken in certain situations at these games. But none other than Austin Smith has. So our new segment of the Palmetto Dugout Show is Concession Stand of the Week. But we're going to let Austin Smith lump in all 5 weeks together just for this one. So, Coach, you've got to think about the best concession stand you've been to in those 5 weeks. We can't count Shipyard. Doesn't count. This is high school baseball concession stands. You're going to tell me the best one you've been to and the best food you've gotten from there.
Obviously cost, service.
Well,
it's.
If y'all would have told me ahead of time we were doing this, I could have really, really gotten some good work done here. I hate that you told me I can't count Shipyard. I know we already talked about Shipyard's concession stand when we did the preseason tournament recap, but it felt like we were down there for a month and we ate barbecue for like 3 weeks straight. It just killed it. Every different variety. That's top shelf, but I guess we can't count that. Right now I've got 2 that are they're in a battle, and
we'll give you can tell the 2 since it's been 5 weeks.
Well, I'm gonna go with 2, and hopefully I'll get to go back to them, and we'll have a tiebreaker. And now that I'm putting the plug in for them, I might get some free food out of it. Duncan Park down there, and a lot of it has to do with the people that you have working your concession stand. Duncan Park's concession stand had some of the nicest people working it. I was there for that Saturday where it was cold and rainy in that preseason tournament. And it was such a bad day. I drank 7 cups of coffee. They gave me a free donut, Krispy Kreme donut, every time I got a cup of coffee. States Far's mom, shortstop at Spartanburg, working the concession stand, such a nice lady over there. She hooked me up all day long. I think I may have spent, I don't remember how much I made for the day scouting those games, but I think I spent half of it in the concession stand. So Duncan Park's at the top of the list. Yeah, so sorry if anybody else, if you didn't get the free donut with the coffee, sorry, it is what it is. Guess it's perks of the job. They had just a huge day over there. Second one for me is going to be Greer High School. Oh man, they had I think I spent $15 at Greer the other night. It was which it didn't help. It was a Greer Wade Hampton game. It lasted about 7.5 hours. So I had to eat 2 full meals there. They had barbecue sandwiches. I don't know who made them, but it was great. I had some coffee there. Coffee wasn't quite as good as the coffee at Duncan Park, but it was good. It got me through the night. I made it out of there. Yeah, that's where I'm going right now. Greer and Duncan Park. Greer High School, Duncan Park. So if you get a chance to go watch Spartanburg at Duncan Park, or if they bring the Spartanburgers back this summer, but whatever it may be, we'll see. So I appreciate y'all throwing this in here. Now I went to Fluor Field the other night and all I got was a bottle of water. So,
but I would think we would probably boot Fluor Field off as well. You're talking about a minor league venue. I mean, you were a little upset with the ice cream. I mean, you were expecting Dippin' Dots and didn't show up. So I know that was became tough for you a little bit there. But I would probably boot them out just because it's like Shipyard a little bit. It's not a realistic. Fair. Yeah, it's unfair to the to the parents that are manning the concession stand.
Hey,
I know it's a thankless job in that concession stand. Sometimes I know from my coaching days, you're trying to drag volunteers out of all corners of your school to go do that job, and I've seen some just phenomenal concession stand. I mean, some of these people working this thing, it's cold. Your kids out there pitching, and you're over here serving bull peanuts and popcorn, and I get it, but good for you. You are the backbone of some of these high school games.
Hey, so make sure if you want to be featured a part of Austin's concession of the week that you roll out the red carpet when you see that blue hoodie walk in. So
it's very similar. What's that show on the dining?
Diners, Dives, and Drives, or something like that.
Yeah, and this is very, very, yes, very similar.
I'm like Guy Fieri.
very, very, very similar to.
Well, the problem with some of these games is now that everybody's going to the 6:30 start time instead of the 7:30 start time, you do the 6:30 start. You got to be there early enough to get your lineups. You don't have time to eat before the game; it's too early. But you also, if you wait till 10 o'clock and eat, then I don't know. It's just so you just eat there. It's the easiest thing to do.
It is an important thing. You roll into what food do we got on tap? Am I going to get a good burger, or am I just have to get some fun dip? You know what I mean? Like, it's important.
Oh, so hey, that's our new segment, a part of every week now that we just added on. Maybe there comes another segment at another time. We're going to hold off right there. So that does us for episode 33 of the Palmetto Dugout Show. So from all of us here at PBR South Carolina, have a great week.